Tonight in NBN News, a factory goes up in flames in the Hunter, a milestone for a key climate project and a decrease in COVID cases across the region. All those stories and plenty more, tune in tonight at 6. Tonight, an out-of-control factory fire sparks a major emergency in the Hunter. New South Wales towns brace for major flooding. Tears and apologies in Glasgow as the climate summit ends with a compromise on coal. When children under 12 could receive their COVID vaccine. And Australia prepares to make history in tonight's T20 World Cup final.
This is NBN News.
Good evening. An 8-hour operation to extinguish an out-of-control factory fire in the Hunter is tonight ongoing. The blaze was fuelled by hand sanitizer and was so fierce almost 200 firefighters were needed.
Flames leap from the Western aluminium factory near Kurri Kurri in the Hunter.
It's on site.
And Sam Burberry joins us live now at the scene. Sam, is the fire still burning?
Jane, it certainly is. As you heard a few seconds ago there, Fire and Rescue has issued an alert for residents to stay as far away from the area as they can and to close their doors and windows because the smoke contains hazardous chemicals which could cause some people breathing difficulties. As of a few hours ago, more than 180 firefighters are battling the blaze, which is likely to continue burning overnight. Jane?
Thank you, Sam. There are long delays on the M1 tonight after a ute and a motorbike crashed just north of Sydney. The scene at Mount White has been cleared, but traffic heading towards the city remains heavy. A female motorcyclist in her 40s was taken to the Royal North Shore Hospital in a serious condition. A deal has been struck at the climate summit in Glasgow after 14 days of negotiating came down to the wire. India and China combined to weaken the pledge to end coal power. But the final statement does call on countries like Australia to do more by 2030, something the Morrison government says it will not.
After an exhausting fortnight and last gasp negotiations, the Glasgow Climate Summit has delivered an agreement.
Chris Ullman, NBN News.
A daring driver has crashed through barricades on the New South Wales-Queensland border. It's unclear whether he made it through to Queensland after moving the barricade. Police are yet to find the driver and are urging anyone with information to come forward. If caught, he could face a $4,000 fine. Back to work plans for thousands of parents are in a mess tonight, with 20 schools across New South Wales shut down because of COVID. But experts say new rapid antigen tests being trialled will get kids back into the classroom much faster.
As quickly as they opened, some schools are closing.
There's been a slight decrease in COVID case numbers across the health district, with the Hunter recording 11 new infections overnight. 4 of those are from Newcastle, 4 from Cessnock and 3 from Lake Macquarie. Meanwhile, further north, the Mid-Coast recorded 13 cases and the New England 16. There were 2 new infections for the Central Coast. There's been a green milestone today for a major project in Newcastle. The 5-megawatt solar farm near Wallsend has been in operation for 2 years, with council confirming the site is on track to reach its 2030 climate goals.
Turning on the lights to celebrate 2 years of turning on the power. Isabella Evans, NBN News.
Bill Wright, the Catholic Bishop of the Maitland-Newcastle Diocese, has passed away. He was ordained as the 8th Bishop of the diocese in 2011, where he served for a decade before resigning in September. He died this morning after a short battle with lung cancer, aged 69. Homelessness has spiked during the pandemic, with the Central Coast Charities shelters operating at capacity. Now a state government grant is allowing Coast Shelter to expand its workforce at this crucial time.
It's a sad reality. Not-for-profit organisation Coast Shelter is seeing people come forward for help who've never had to before. Holly Williams, NBN News.
Central Coast residents have been hoping their trash can become someone else's treasure this weekend, taking part in the annual garage sale trail. The Central Coast Council initiative aims to divert items away from landfill and reduce waste. 40 households are taking part in the initiative, with sales to be held again next weekend. Checking temperatures in the Hunter today, we had a top of 22 at Nobby's, 23 for Nelson Bay, 17 for Murrurundi and 21 today in Maitland. Still ahead in NBN news, soldiers killed as tensions rise on the Poland-Belarus border. America's high-tech weapons in the battle against wildfires, and this mighty Chinook is on its way down under. And the mission to save the world's largest turtle population off the Queensland coast. Communities in the Central West are on high alert for major flooding, similar to a disastrous event a few years ago. And as small towns do, volunteers are rolling up their sleeves and lending a hand to the sandbagging effort for neighbour and for friend.
Planning for the worst but hoping for the best.
Breast cancer patients have been bumped to the front of the queue for a COVID vaccine booster. People undergoing chemotherapy or other treatments now have to wait 2 months for their third dose, as opposed to 6 months for the rest of the population. The Breast Cancer Network says the extra shot is essential for patients who are immunocompromised. Poland has accused guards in Belarus of attacking its security forces with laser beams at a border crossing. International tensions over the migrant crisis are rising, with Russia's president denying any involvement.
With laser beams and strobe lights, this border battle played out overnight.
They're America's new weapons in the war on wildfires, enormous water-dumping aircraft that can help stop a bushfire in its tracks. And now 2 of the largest firefighting helicopters in the world are on their way to Australia.
A beast on a mission. This is no ordinary Chinook.
Coming up next, the tiny island in the middle of a global power struggle between China and the US. A life-saving cancer drug now more affordable for Australians. And how a cow ended up on a slide in a high-stakes mission to save its life. China's reach could be growing in the Pacific, where a tiny island nation is in the spotlight tonight. The Kiribati government could be about to allow China a military footing on the doorstep of the United States.
In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a tiny nation is in the middle of a global power struggle.
A team of researchers is fighting to save the green turtle from the impacts of climate change in Queensland. Warmer conditions have upset the natural order, but a clever method is helping to ensure the turtle's survival.
Heron Island, a patch of paradise in the Great Barrier Reef.
With the Queen still off official duties, it was a slimmed-down showing for the royal family at this year's Festival of Remembrance. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge marked the event at London's Royal Albert Hall alongside Prince Charles. Her Majesty will attend the Cenotaph for Remembrance Sunday late this evening, her first engagement since being told to rest last month. Once pegged for the slaughterhouse, this cow's escape from a ranch has gone swimmingly in Brazil, the animal riding a slippery dip at a local water park. The bovine was unsteady at first, but eventually hoofed it into the water. It has now been adopted as a family pet and named Toboga, which means slide in Portuguese. That's one lucky cow. It's time for Sport Now with Mitch Hughes, and a big night for the Aussies at the T20, Mitch.
Certainly is, Jane. They're out to make history. Let's take a look. Coming up after the break, the Aussies prepare for a shot at their first ever T20 world title. Also, Cam Murray puts his hand up for the Rabbitohs captaincy. And the Wallabies suffer yet another loss to England. The T20 World Cup final is just hours away, with Australia and New Zealand both aiming to win the title for the first time. But before then, the Aussies and Kiwis will have to forget their friendship.
Face to face ahead of their fight for cricket's ultimate prize.
These days, not many rugby league players get to represent their local club, let alone become captain. That's the incredible opportunity in front of South star Cam Murray. Tonight he tells us why he'd love to lead the Rabbitohs as they look to go one better in 2022.
6 weeks today since the NRL Grand Final.
After the break, a tough day for Aussie Jack Miller during qualifying at the Valencia MotoGP. A super tight finish to the Supercars Super Sprint. It's not often you see a photo finish in the supercars, but that's exactly what fans were treated to at Eastern Creek today. All three Hunter teams have now been eliminated from the FFA Cup following 2 games last night. NPL club Newcastle Olympic went down 3-0 to Macarthur FC at number 2 Sports Ground, while the Newcastle Jets lost a heartbreaker against Western United in Geelong. The Jets should have been in front after half an hour. The Hunter Hurricanes women's side has bounced back from a heavy loss in round 1 of the Sydney Super League to score a dominant victory over Sydney Northern Beaches in round 2. Jane, that's it.
Thank you, Mitch. Hunter weather next.
NBN News Rewind. Proudly brought to you by Port Waratah Coal Services. Local heart, global reach. It's who we are.
Now to our weekly Rewind series, direct from the NBN News archives. Tonight, a floating wonder that visited our shores in the 1960s.
When is a car not a car? When it's a boat, literally. Meet the Amphicar 770.
And we'll have another episode of NBN Rewind next Sunday night. Let's turn to the weather now. A beautiful sunny day, especially if you have found a protected spot out of the wind. A stunning start to the day at McMaster's Beach on the Central Coast. Dave Gosling capturing the sunrise reflecting onto the ocean pool. Let's check the satellite first. Cloud over southern New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and Tasmania with a trough and cold front is leading to showers and even some highland snow. Mostly clear skies for northern New South Wales. Cloud over northern Queensland and the top end with a trough and unstable air is bringing thundery showers. On the synoptic chart tomorrow, a low will move off the east coast but will continue to bring areas of rain to Tassie, Victoria and southern New South Wales. A glorious sunny morning with gusty westerly winds. Showers and rain areas across parts of the region tonight. Cool in the Hunter Valley today, a top of 19 for Merriwa, 17 for Murrurundi, reaching 23 at Maitland today, 12 to 22 for Newcastle. Tomorrow's forecast mostly sunny with strong westerlies gusting up to 50 kilometres an hour. Expecting 24 degrees for Newcastle tomorrow, 23 at Nelson Bay and Maitland, 26 for Gloucester, 22 for Scone. A strong wind warning on the way for tomorrow. Westerlies again up to 30 knots, seas at 3 metres. The sun to rise at 5:42 and set at 7:30. And the 7-day outlook for Newcastle: Tuesday, overcast skies. Wednesday, partly cloudy with a medium chance of showers. Looking warmer later in the week, reaching 30 degrees on Friday with some light showers, a top of 21 for Tuesday. For Scone this week, low 20s for the next couple of days. Warmer from Thursday. A mostly fine week ahead, except a few light showers for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And for Gosford this week, cool for Tuesday and Wednesday, a top of 20 on Tuesday, 21 on Wednesday, a bit warmer on Friday with some showers also for Saturday. And that is NBN News for this Sunday. Thanks so much for your company and have a good night.